You are watching Influence Media, PSI TV, the Netflix of biz brands.
If your goal is to become famous, to become a celebrity in your space, to be known for what you do, you're in the right place. Hi, Trudy Beerman here, and I have packaged the Reachology Bundle with you in mind. This is a combination of some of my best offers put together at such an affordable price. Now, I am the easiest one to tell you the price right up front. The only reason why I'm not sharing it here is because I like my videos to be evergreen, which means if I put a price out there and you watch this a year later and the price has changed, that will be its own problem. But I promise you, it will be the cost of a date night. So I'll say that, and then when you click, you'll see the price, all right? So that being said, if you want to become famous for what you do, if you want to expand your influence and your reach. Now, a lot of us, like for me, that was not really ever my goal. I'm the happiest person in my home with my husband and my children. My world is complete. Honest to goodness, if I never saw another human, I'd be fine. However, after you've sold your book to your family and friends, after you've convinced your family and friends to support you in your new business, that's not going to sustain you. That's not going to feed your family. So let's just be honest. Whether it is something we want to do or not, it's something that if you intend to feed your family through your offer, you kind of need to do this. All right. So that being said, let's jump into the components of the Reachology Bundle, which is brought to you by PSI TV. So the bundle includes my Reachology book. It's my newest publication. Now, if you're local to Tampa or you want to purchase the physical book, that's fine. We can talk about this. The physical book comes with the same opportunity. In the physical book, to access the digital options, there is a card with a QR code that would bring you to the same place. But if you access it online, then everything comes in a digital package for immediate download. The book, the ebook version, is a deep dive into the components of the Reachology SCORE. Reachology is a trademark word that I have, and it encompasses my proprietary things that make up influence and reach. Influence and reach are two different dynamics. You might be a big fish in a small pond. You have influence with your 20, 50, 100 people. You have influence, but you don't have audience reach. And then there are some people who have audience reach. A lot of people have heard their name, but nobody would ever buy from them because they don't trust them. They don't like them. So there is a big difference between influence and reach, but Reachology is the word I coined to express influential reach in a proprietary way with all the components that I have packaged together. So the Reachology SCORE is a proprietary scoring system that I developed to measure influential reach. Now, in the social media space, influencers are determined by their number of social media followings on a platform. So you may be an Instagram influencer, for example, and you have this massive Instagram following. You're not required in that particular instance to be an expert at anything. That people might just like you, and whatever you're doing, they want to follow you. That's great. That is one measure of influential reach. That is. Mine is different. There's also another popular score out there. You may have heard of it through Dent or through KPI, Daniel Priestley, that kind of a thing. That score was developed several years ago, and it does not take into consideration your social media following. So regardless of whatever other scoring systems are out there, I know mine filled the gap. So the Reachology SCORE takes into consideration your credentials, your experience, your publications, your following, and your digital footprint, all of which we go into more of a deep dive in the book. But when you take the quiz, It evaluates your current situation, gives you a baseline score, and you can also see your gaps. So if you are getting, if you didn't get that particular section, it's because you scored, however you selected, whatever you selected, and then you're going to see your gaps. Let me give you an example. When it's measuring your reach, it will ask you a question about your email list. And I have someone that I'm helping to try and win an election right now, and she knows a lot of people, but her email list was under 200. It was basically just family and friends. That's not going to cut it when you're trying to win an election. Okay, so it's going to show you the gap. So the score is powerful. Now, whatever the score you get, do not beat yourself up over it. She was personally surprised. She thought her influence and reach was bigger because we are in our little space. We get feedback from our little sphere of influence, and they're all fawning over you. So you figure, oh, I'm a big deal. You may be a big fish in a small pond, but for you to really grow. So you might be an important and influencer in your 20, 50, 100 people. Okay, so you're a big fish in a small pond. However, you can expand that and be well known in your city, in your state, in your country, and then even globally. All right. And I learned this as a child because my father was a little country boy from the backwoods of St. Anne in Jamaica. Went to high school for only 3 years because he just couldn't afford it. He couldn't wear shoes to school for most of his life. He would say he grew 3 inches out of his pants because he stayed slim, but he grew tall and he just did not have the clothing. So he was going to school with pants that were like a gap like this, and it wasn't the fashion then. And so I've watched my father go from being a little country boy in the backwoods of Jamaica to not only being a peer of Billy Graham, but being the plenary speaker at Amsterdam 2000. Now he's 85 years old now, so he's retired and all that. But back in his day, he went from being this backwoods country boy to being on the stage with Amsterdam 2000, speaking to 10,000 plus evangelists. These were not just followers now. These are leaders of leaders. So they're going to go back to their own congregation, to their sphere of influence. So he was influencing influencers. And I watched him do that. And I saw some of the process, and TV was a big piece of that. So that's partly why I was pursuing TV the way I was. So that's one piece of it. The next piece that's in the bundle is the Audience Finder. The Audience Finder is an AI tool that I created. Now, yes, I did use open source formula, so I'm not the original creator of all of the coding that goes into it, but I manipulated what is already available to create the Audience Finder AI tool. The Audience Finder AI tool is accessed through this bundle. What you will get with that is, let's say, for example, I was in the bicycle sales business. I had bicycles for sale. Now, if you're learning any kind of marketing at all, you may have been introduced to the concept of your avatar. You need to speak to your avatar. When you do your conversations, you want to have your avatar in mind. So I'm in the bicycle business, say, and then I decide, well, my target audience, my avatar is a Lance Armstrong. Fantastic. And I mean, think of a Lance Armstrong, all that goes into who he is and everything, to craft my ads, to craft my pitches and all that. That's great. The thing is, what the Audience Finder is going to do is going to take it the next step. It's going to give you the audience segment. So instead of just giving you a Lance Armstrong, he's this age, he likes to read this magazines and all of that, it's going to give you the audience segment. So it might say, based on what you put in, of course, prompts are also important, but based on what you put in, it could spit out an audience segment of, say, athletic cyclists. And so now it's going to give you some parameters of athletic cyclists as a market segment, and it's going to tell you where athletic cyclists hang out, what magazines they read, what groups, and so forth. So it's going to give you that. That's what the Audience Finder is going to be. And for some of you, the problem is not your product. The problem may not even be your pitch. The problem is that you're talking to the wrong audience. Okay, so there was a story some years ago of a man who gave his daughter what looked like a beat up watch. And he said, no, take this to the pawn shop. And the pawn shop said, like $50. And then he said, now take it to an antique dealer. When she took it to the antique dealer, she was being offered hundreds of thousands of dollars. So sometimes you're simply pitching to the wrong audience segment. Those are not your people. You need to go find your people. Last but not least, in the Reachology Bundle is a 5-minute spot on PSI TV that will air for 30 days. Now, it's going to be a very specific video. It's not going to be an interview. And when you get access to the bundle, it's going to give you the parameters to submit the video that will help you to qualify. Now, a big chunk of it is based on the 16-word sales letter. So if you've not read that book, that will be a big hint for that. But I do give you samples of what the 16-word sales letter looks like, because it helps you to really get very drilled down on who you're speaking to, what you're offering them, what's the payoff, and why they should choose you. So you're going to create that 5-minute video within those parameters, submit that, and then your video will air for 30 days on PSI TV, and also give you a shout out for doing so on my social media pages. So that is the Reachology Bundle. And we're always trying to give you a competitive advantage, guys. When my guests come to PSI TV, I realize, yes, they may be coming to be on TV to say, I was on TV. There's a little bit of that ego buzz. But what I realize as I talk to them is that they're really on an active effort to expand their audience, to expand what they're offering to a brand new set of eyes, and to create awareness and interest with an audience that had probably never, ever heard of them. So very quickly, I realized that I may be on a TV platform, but I'm really not in the TV business. We are in the influential reach business. So that's why the PSI TV brand has expanded to offer things that will impact your influence and your reach. So we've talked about the score. We've talked about the book. The book is really a deeper dive on the elements of the score. We've talked about the audience, the finder. We've talked about the TV opportunity. It's a very specific video that you have to send in. And like I said, guys, I have no problem ever telling you the price. In fact, I feel like the price is something that if you were speaking directly to me, I would throw it right out there too, because, for some of you, if the price is an issue, you've already filtered yourself. You've already put yourself out of the opportunity, right? So I like to get that out there, because I can tell you something. I'm not trying to convince anybody. Who we're looking to work with are the people who absolutely want to work with us. It's a fit. I'm not trying to twist your arms. I'm not trying to fit square pegs in round holes, not over here. So I love to tell people the price. The only reason why I'm not doing it here is because I want this video to be evergreen. It may last longer than a price change, so I don't want to affect the video that way. But I'm committed to keeping the price for this bundle for the cost of a date night, for at least as long as the video is up. So when you take the quiz, there's a series of questions. There's no right or wrong answer, guys. It's what is your answer. So when it's done, it's going to give you a score. So for example, this was a sample one. The niche of influence is always in a niche of influence. So if you are well known, let's say you're Tiger Woods and you're well known for golf, and all of a sudden you want to dabble in the culinary arts. Well, because you're already popular in one area of influence, you will have some followers that will track over, but not all the followers. If they were following you for golf, they may not be interested in your care about culinary interests. So the quiz is very specific to the niche that you are trying to be influential in. So once you put that in, so you may be very popular in golf, like I said, and you might score very high for golf, but if you're trying to pivot over to something else, you put that something else in, you put it in, and then you're going to see the gaps of where you can be very instrumental, very strategic about building the reach in that particular area. The audience finder, I'll give you a quick look at it. So you come over to the audience finder tool, and then you put in your parameters, and then you hit submit, and it spits out a response, okay? And it helps you to find your audience segment. The video, that you're going to submit. Should you do that, you will have access to the instructions. And like I said, it's based a lot on the 16-word sales letter. So I'll give you some examples here, but it's a very specific video. It's not like my traditional PSI TV interviews. It's not an interview. You're going to craft the offer, but it still needs to match how your channel works. So if you get into this, but I promise you, it's been structured to help show off your offer in an optimized way. At the end of the day, guys, you already know this. There's fierce competition out there. The audience, if they don't know you exist, then it's not even an option. But if they know you exist, they may know you. Like I know several real estate agents, several. Okay. So if I wanted to give a lead to somebody, if I knew somebody was going to buy a house, I have so many of them to choose from, so many friends. So who would I pick? So it comes down to how you position yourself to stand out. I can tell you, your competition is probably not on TV, but your competition plus is on YouTube, is on social media. It's a very noisy place. So it's harder for you to stand out. So you want to stand out. And sometimes not only just the presence of being on television, but being able to say, catch me on TV. It's a pretty powerful punch. So when you do get the bundle, when you go to buy, this is the landing page, or this is the page you're going to see. So somewhere in this video, in the description, in the pinned comment, will be the link to this page. And when you go to the page and you click on it, you will get, all the information about everything I just already told you, the book, the score, and everything. But this is what the top of the page is going to look like, just so that you know you're in the right place. Our goal over here at PSI TV, I pretty much end a lot of my videos with this. The results of influential reach, guys, are amazing. So I'm also in the process of growing mine. So some of you may even be ahead of me, and that's fantastic. I'm currently a student. I'm doing my graduate studies, and I'm in the middle of my research, and my focus is somewhat limited. My business is on part-time, and there's just so much I can do, but I'm still working on growing my influence and reach. I'm certainly studying it at an academic and high level. So when you develop your influence and your influential reach, remember I said influence and reach are not the same thing, but your influential reach, you're going to be the one people want to hear from. People are going to invite you to stages. I just was asked to be a keynote for some Paris thing in March. You'll be invited to podcasts and more. Your name will be the one that comes to mind when they want that thing. They, of course, have to know you do that thing. I'll give you a quick story. I used to post a lot of my fitness stuff on Facebook, and a friend of mine, when I hooked up with her, she told me she just bought an insurance policy for her husband. I'm like, I sell life insurance. Now that was some time ago. I still have that license, guys, but it was my financial stuff that brought me to TV. I wanted to share my financial stuff on TV. Then I love the TV space, and I've been jamming in TV. So don't get confused. I'm in the TV space. I still maintain my license, but I'm in the TV space. But what I'm telling you is that when she said she bought the policy for her husband, I'm like, but that's what I do. She says, Trudy, I'd have much preferred to have bought the policy from you. I bought it from a perfect stranger. But she says, all I see on your Facebook page is your fitness videos, your fitness. So she thought I was into fitness. And that's what she thought I did. But that is what I was using my public platform to share. So you really need to be letting people know what you do. Not everybody you tell is going to be your ideal audience. But if they know what you do, if only for that reason that they know what you do. So sometimes I reach out to people and I say, hey, I know you're not my ideal audience. This is not an offer I'm making to you. I just want you to know what I'm up to, what I'm doing, in case you come across someone who you think I'd be a perfect match for. So sometimes that's all it is, guys. You need to put it out there so they'll go, oh yeah, Trudy does that. Oh yeah, Sharon does that. You need to do that. Your name will be the first choice from the many. People will recognize you even when you don't know who they are. People come up to me and say, I just feel like I know you from somewhere. Where have we met before? And it could just be that I have a common face. I don't know. But then I say to them, maybe you saw me on TV. And even if they never saw me on TV, it's such an icebreaker. It opens a phenomenal conversation. So that alone is one of the power of being on television. Okay. But people will know you and you don't even know them. If I said the name Steve Jobs, a lot of you know who Steve Jobs is, even though you've never met him. By the way, I have met him and his family. But coming back to this now, you could be seen as a celebrity and paid as one. So that is my presentation for you today, guys. If this was of value, like, comment, share, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. But again, guys, the Reachology Bundle, happy to share this with you today, because the idea is, how can I serve you? How can I help you expand your influence and your reach? How can I help you? You're a big fish in a small pond, but jump ponds and grow again. That's what happens when my guests come to PSI TV and I share their content, not only on 3 television platforms. PSI TV is on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Vita TV. We also build television apps for Apple TV, but PSI TV is not on Apple TV right now. So we have that audience presence, and then we repurpose the TV interview and we syndicate that out to a total of 17 platforms. 17 platforms. 5 or 7 of them, I have to remember the exact breakdown, are podcasts, YouTube, all of that. And then depending on the package that you choose, we can even guarantee you views. We promote your show till you get the views. And we're not asking you to believe us. We push that promotion to YouTube so you can see it with your own 2 eyes, because you can't see the TV analytics. So we put the views where you can say, yes, she did deliver on her promise. And then again, depending on the package you pick, we can even, because we already have all your information, write and distribute a PR press release for you. And our press releases tend to be picked up by a news outlet in your city, your industry, and several other outlets. So we're actively working over here to find additional ways to stack the value for you to do business with PSI TV with us, because we're actively seeing what else can we do to help you jump ponds and grow again. Trudy Beerman here, offering you the Reachology Bundle, guys. I promise you it's the price of a date night, but the effect of it will last way longer when that date is long and forgotten. All right, Trudy Beerman here, super simple to find, and I do look forward to connecting